Good morning, sorry, good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Very, very good evening, very good evening.
Evening, sir.
Very good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank
Sir.
you very much, dear students. Let us, we'll talk about today's paper on your social context to education. And once again, I welcome you all to the digital platform of IGNOU. I am sharing the screen. If it is visible, please tell me. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So thank you very much, dear students. Today, in your social context of education, we will try to know some emerging social concerns in Indian education. Basically, we'll try to know about the social diversities in education system, equalities and inequalities in education. What are the provisions are there? What are the types of diverse social diversities in is there? What are the factors responsible for this? And how there's the impact of social diversity in the context of education, in the field of education. Okay, so let us will talk. It is very uh, simple to know that what actually the social diversity is. If we talk about the system of education in India and the varieties of peoples in India, you know very well, India has been considered as perhaps the largest and most diversified country in the world. You know, in India, people speak an array of languages as we use a wide range of scripts. In our India has major religions: Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, Sikh, Jain, Zoroastrianism. So living side by side. So we can say that India is the world's most complex and comprehensively pluralistic society, isn't it? And we can say it is a home to vast variety of castes, tribes, communities, languages, customs, traditions, and living styles also differ from place to place and geographical areas. So if we see, it was estimated by the survey by anthropological department, anthropological survey of India, that there are nearly 4,600 separate communities in India, which many 325 languages and dialects in 12 distinct languages or families. In some 24 scripts you will see. So if we see in context of diversity, India is the best example. So by social diversity, we mean coexistence of different social groups within a given geographical setting, or in simpler terms, differentiation of society into groups. Varieties of peoples are living here, their living standard is also different, their communication skill different, their food habits different, their religion peoples are in very various perspectives. So again we can say that social diversity is the differences seen in a particular society in case of religion, culture, economic status, living standard, food habits. Nice. So, if the people of a particular society belong to different religions, cultural background, social status, economic status, linguistic environment, so this phenomenon is called social diversity, nothing else. So, ଯଦି ବଗିଚାରେ ଗୋଟିଏ ପ୍ରକାର ଫୁଲ ଫୁଟନ୍ତା ତାହେଲେ ଆମକୁ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଲାଗିବ କି? ସୁନ୍ଦର ଲାଗେ ନାହିଁ ଜେନେରାଲି। ତାହେଲେ ବଗିଚାରେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାରର ଫୁଲ ଫୁଟେ, ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ରଙ୍ଗର ଫୁଲ ଥାଏ, ସେଇ ବଗିଚାଟି ଆମକୁ ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ଟିଭ ଲାଗେ, ବା we get more pleasure in that. And India is the center of attraction because varieties of people living in different languages, different cultures, customs, traditions. We see social diversity is regarded as something which makes this universe more livable and attractive. So the countries like India are well known for their diversified nature and in a variety of aspects such as faith, rituals, customs, geographical differences, linguistic culture, their behavior, their food habits, their dressings. So, in other social aspects, also, we can say that social diversity talks about. And as a teacher's point of view and a student of education, we must have the idea about that how social diversity has an impact on our lifestyle. You know that varieties of social diversities in India entails. First, we will talk about among the varieties or types of diversities, you will see religious diversity. Now, there are a number of religious entities in this world. In some countries, people of different religions live together at the same localities, isn't it? There are number of religions entities in this world. In some countries, people of different religions live together at the same localities, and India is the best example. Even if we see in a city, you will find varieties of peoples are there, having different cultures, language, lifestyles, isn't it? So these religions contribute more to the social diversity with religious centers like mosques, churches, temples. So they have also contributed to the different sorts of rituals, celebrations, prayers, philosophies, and scriptures. You know that Hindu Grantha, Gita Paduchanti, Bible Paduchanti, Quran Paduchanti. So people are in different
Yes, sir. Yes,
varieties.
sir.
Peoples are following varieties of their holy books, their scriptures. They're following their rituals and they're observing different type of celebrations and their way of style, way of connecting God is different also. Their prayer style different. Some are standing in 1 feet, wearing the Buddhist. You see, and in Muslim, Islamic peoples, their prayer style is something different. When they pray the Allah, so it is somehow different in very uh, various aspects. So we can say that peoples of India having religious diversity, right? So they have also contributed with different sorts of rituals, celebrations, prayers, philosophies, and scriptures, right? So the major religions exist in this world are, you know, Hinduism, Hindu, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikh, and thousands of other subdivisions of different major religions. We can say whatever we are uh, facing in our societies, in our country. Again, we'll talk about another diversity that is, very well, the language, or you may say linguistic diversity. If the people of a particular society interact with others by making use of variety of languages, the society can be said to have the linguistic diversity. And you know that when we study in a you are in different, you are also, we can say that you are a multilingual classroom. Hmm. You are from different uh, geographical area, you are from different, you have different uh, traditions, cultures, living standards, your language also different. Some are very well in Hindi, English, Bangla, Korea, right? So if the people in all about the country speaks same one language, it may have I hope may not be the center of attraction. When people are saying in a country various types of language, you so should imagine, definitely there is a reason, but we see unity among the diversity. So the society can be said to have linguistic diversity in this context. So some countries or society have forgotten different languages with lots of. No, sir. Uh, so some countries or societies have got different languages with lots of sub-horses, isn't it? They are saying dialects, or we have seen that you'll see the people who belong to scheduled tribe. They are also communication skills also different. Their versions also different. So linguistic diversity gives extra charm to such societies where we find there are differences in language, or you will see linguistic perspectives. We will see that how amazing is this. As such societies possess different kinds of literary writings and linguistic symbols, isn't it? Or also you will see that different forms of sciences, symbols we use in languages. In Sanskrit, there is different. In Odia, it's also different. In English form, there is also some minimal varieties. Moreover, language is one of the most important aspect of culture. You know very well, because language is the gateway of communication and knowledge. Without saying anything, without communicating, how we can be able to know about something? So, because when we'll communicate by verbal or informal, verbal or non-verbal language, sign language, or direct communication. So, variety, a society in which people who speak in different languages can boost of a center of different cultural entities. It is very interesting, and you should have a great idea that how the country India the people of different languages are communicating so well. And another important thing that is racial diversity. And you know very well that there are plenty of races, isn't it? We are also agree. We are. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. It is very interesting that different races are also there. There are plenty of races in this world. Some countries keep a variety of ethnic groups with them, and India is the best example here. The factors such as what races, the migration, migrant peoples, military invasion, interracial marriages, intercaste marriages, etc. So maybe regarded as the major cause behind the existence of different races in some countries. And we see basically different races in context of India as well as in Odisha, right? And it is a commonly seen trend that some races are approached in a gentle manner, while some others are always treated in a humiliating manner. And this is very common, and we generalize. That's why there is some guidelines to follow. The government of India also uh, framed some certain rules regulations during in proper and good governance of our country. Cultural diversity is also there. You know that very well. We belong to different culture. I belong to different culture. She belong to different culture. So culture can be defined as the style or mode of life that a particular society follows. That is your culture. So ତୁମର ସୋସାଇଟାଲ ଏକ୍ଜିଷ୍ଟେନ୍ସ ଯାହା ଅଛି ତମ ରିଚୁଆଲ୍ସ ହଉ ତମ କଷ୍ଟମ୍ସ ହଉ କ'ଣ କ'ଣ ଡ୍ରେସିଂ ସେନ୍ସ ରହିଛି ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ କ'ଣ ରହିଛି ତମ ରିଲେସନସିପ କେମିତି ଏଷ୍ଟାବ୍ଲିଶ କରୁଛ ହାଉ ୟୁ ଆର୍ ଟ୍ରିଟିଂ ପିପୁଲ୍ସ ତମେ କେମିତି ସେଲିବ୍ରେସନ କରୁଛ ପୂଜା କ'ଣ ସେଲିବ୍ରେସନ କରୁଛ ଦିସ୍ ଅଲ୍ ଟକ୍ସ ଆବାଉଟ ଆୱାର କଲଚର ଇଟ୍ସ ମାଇ କଲଚର ବାଂଲା କଲଚର ବେଙ୍ଗାଲି କଲଚର ଇଜ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଓଡ଼ିଆ କଲଚର ଇଜ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଆସାମୀ କଲଚର ଇଜ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ତାମିଲ କଲଚର ଇଜ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ isn't it so there is difference in cultures. So, in detailed manner, culture can be explained as the sum totality of the social existence of a particular society, which includes its rituals, its customs, celebrations, its dress code, language, mode of relationship between and among the peoples, whatever we see in our day to day life, isn't it? So we can say that in very popular term, culture is a term which often mistaken as civilization. We just somehow we understand it. We can say if a person is seen with the skin of an animal on his body, people use of call it cultureless. Generally, we see that. What kind of behavior she is showing? So actually, it is a part of its culture. Some countries are fortunate to have different types and levels of culture. When there are different cultural entities in society, it gives beauty and charm to society. And you should know, I mean, Odisha kata kaya specifically in Odisha perspective that you see people in Odisha have Sambalpuri, isn't it? Sambalpuri you can see, and also belongs to the central coastal belt. Their culture also different. So also those who are Western culture, West they are living in West, they are also difference in their lifestyles, isn't it? So, cultural diversity, we'll talk about that culture can be classified as the very totality of our society, whatever we follow, our rituals, customs, dress codes, our language, all things, isn't it? ଆମ ଆମ ସୋସାଇଟିର ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ ସୋସାଇଟିର ଏତେ ବିୟୁଟି କାହିଁ କହିଲୁ? ଦ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ ସୋସାଇଟିରେ ବିୟୁଟି ଏଥିପାଇଁ ଏତେ ଭଲ ଯେ ଆମେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାରର କଲଚର ପିପୁଲ୍ସ ଆସ କରେ ତୁମେ ୟୁ ହ୍ୟାଭ୍ ସିନ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ବିଫୋର୍ in the 21st 26th January you see how was the celebration of different cultures of India in different forms. So you can imagine that how much the cultural diversity, the bringing a change, a direction, showing a direction to the lifestyle of people of India. Another thing we can say that individual diversity. When you talk about individual diversity, what do you mean by this? Because you know that no one is same. Every individual different. ପୃଥିବୀରେ ସବୁ ଲୋକ ସମାନ ସମସ୍ତେ ଅଲଗା ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ଫେସ୍ ଅଲଗା ତାଙ୍କ କଥାବାର୍ତ୍ତା ଅଲଗା ତାଙ୍କ କମ୍ୟୁନିକେସନ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡିଂ ଇଣ୍ଟେଲିଜେନ୍ସ ଦେୟାର ଆଟିଟ୍ୟୁଡ ଆପ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁଡ ପର୍ସନ ଭିଜନ ପର୍ସନାଲିଟି social status cultural background their behavior everything will find individual difference exist. So individual diversity is also regarded as a major type of social diversity. So nowadays, what is individual diversity? It is nothing else but the difference seen in the individual traits like intelligence, their IQ, enthusiasm, madam the phone attitude, aptitude, their approach, vision, and the other personality traits among the individuals of a particular social group, regardless to their social or cultural backgrounds. So you should have a very common idea regarding this. This is a modern concept, you know, individual diversity, modern concept. And this is the major factor which is highly regarded in the modern professional world. You know very well, the multinational companies or business bosses or officers never gives any attention towards which family or community or country that you belong to. They are bothered about what you are and what we can, whether you are able to attract the customers with your communication skill and personality. This is the major aspect. So that in these perspectives, they select. Such a trend has been seen in the academic field also, and we see in different interviews how you are showing your excellence. So a teacher should not bother about the family backgrounds of the student, nor the economic status of them. It is the teacher's duty to accept the individual's diversity in his classroom and mold each of the students on the basis of his or her attitude, aptitude, and other individual traits, their personality ho, intelligence ho, their aptitude ho, approach, vision, communication skill, language differences, anything you see in the classroom. So in this perspectives also we have to think that their individual diversity exists, and you know the sexual diversity is common for all because you see different peoples are there, male, female, third gender, isn't it? So another type of diversity which is seen all over the world, almost among all society, is sexual diversity. You may say men community, women community, third gender community. So we are the major groups of this category. And now with the advance of modern science and technology, there are new varieties such as people who are born men and later converted or transformed into women, and those who are born women and later transformed into men. We have seen in films, movies, and also in newspapers that such changes we are seeing. So this diversity has produced different topics for discussion. So, two such as gender equality, gender bias, gender dominance, sexual harassment, all these things is a matter of concerns in sexual diversity. So, this diversity, we can say in simpler form, it is significant in case of education. If people is not educated, not knowledgeous, and aware about the concept, she may face difficulty judging, identifying what kind of changes is seeing or doing. So this diversity is significant in case of education as creating a positive attitude towards the strength and limitations of each sexual groups. And we have the if we have the knowledge about, then we can respect all. It is important for the balance of society, because you know that in people in our society there are women category, there are men category, there are also other peoples, we can say third gender, they are third gender, is it hinjrats. So it's very common, and you should have the normal knowledge. And when we have this kind of education knowledge, so our attitude will be changed towards them, and we'll think about a balanced society. So this diversity also brings an amount of effect in the lifestyle of peoples. Again, we'll talk about the geographical diversity. Am I audible?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ସାର୍ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସ୍ପିକର ମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ହେଇଯାଇଛି।
Thank you very much. So, okay, thank you. Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So now we'll talk about the geographical diversity. It is yet another kind of diversity which is seen in different countries. Now audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So you know that suppose I am staying at Keonjhar, Dharadhara University, Keonjhar, and it's the hill area and there is a forest area also. And suppose you are staying in Baleswar or you are staying at Bhadrak of Odisha, you can see that is the plain area. So in different parts of also you can talk about Uttarakhand, you can talk about Kashmir, you can say Rajasthan. In different places, different varieties of geographical locations are there. So India is the blessed country with different type of geographical areas, such as mountains, achi, lakes, achi, seashores, achi, forests, achi, desert, achi. So many things are there. How pretty the beauty of this our India is. This geographical diversity causes for the emergence of some other varieties also, isn't it? ଯେହେତୁ ଆମର ଜିଓଗ୍ରାଫିକାଲ ଲୋକେସନ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ହେଲା, ଆମର ଲିଭିଂ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ବି ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ହବ, ଆମର ଫୁଡ୍ ହାବିଟ୍ସ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ହବ, ସେଠିକାର ଯାହା ଫୁଡ୍ ହାବିଟ୍ସ ଥିବ, ଆମ ଲାଇଫଷ୍ଟାଇଲ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇଯିବ, ଆମ ଥିଙ୍କିଂ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇଯିବ, ଆମ ଡ୍ରେସ୍ କୋଡ୍ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇଯିବ, ଆମ ଡାଏଟ୍ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇଯିବ, isn't it? So this type of diversity influences the color of the people. Those who are staying in desert, Rajasthan, Rahivati, then people skin color to change habo, their attitude also change habo, their lifestyle will change habo, isn't it? Those who are staying in Himalayas, they push there who are staying in Himalayas or you may say Kashmir, their skin color different will different, their attitude, lifestyle, philosophy, behavior, dress code, diet, everything will find differences. You got it? How geographical diversity. There's we can talk about the social diversity on the basis of this geographical diversity is major part. Another new and classic diversity, that is positive diversity and negative diversity. What is this? Now, another two types diversities are there. One is on the basis of people how they accept the reject. So two categories on the basis of how people approach to diversity in their own society or country. It's positive and negative diversity. Diversity becomes positive when the members of different religious groups, ethnic groups, and any other social groups live together with in harmony. Khusire, Santire, Sukhare, without any kind of disturbance, they are staying. So you can say that there is a positive diversity without violating the rights and interests of the members of the groups. କିଛି rule ଭଙ୍ଗ ନ କରିକି କିଛି ଝଗଡା ନ କରିକି violate ନ କରିକି they are staying very peacefully. So it talks about the positive diversity, and if where there is violations, there is attacks, there are some murders, and there is some criminal activities. Those who are not ready to adjust and another, it's kind of negative diversity. So negative diversity becomes diversity becomes highly negative when the members of different groups are not ready to adjust with others and to respect the views and rights of the members of other groups. You just imagine what will happen if we will not obey the rules, the rights, the guidelines of the country. We have to face such number of difficulties, problems, issues in our day-to-day life, which will have a very negative impact to control society. So, this aspect of positive diversity talks about non-violating or when without any kind of violation the rights and interest of the people, we are accepting everything, and the negative part is we are violating the rights and interest of the peoples. So there are also in India some cases we have seen that people are quarreling, having some kind of incidents, isn't it? Okay. Again, we'll see actually, is there an influence of social diversity on education? Differential access is there, reaching the unreached. As a people of Odisha as well as India, it is a matter of concern that reaching the unreached, differential access. So constitutional commitment there is now providing education to all. There has been considerable expansion of educational facilities since independence. So a kind of major bottleneck in this respect has been a persistence of group and regional disparities. There are till now still a large number of access-less habitations, most of which belong to disadvantaged group. A large number of children are not out, are now today also out of school. ଯୋଉମାନେ ମାଇଗ୍ରେଣ୍ଟ ଚିଲଡ୍ରେନ୍ ଧରିକି କାମ ରାସ୍ତା କଡ଼ରେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଯୋଉମାନେ ଷ୍ଟେସନରେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଯୋଉମାନେ ହଉଛି ବାହାରେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ସେମାନଙ୍କ ସବୁ ବାଟ କୋଉଠି ପଡୁଛନ୍ତି? ମାଇଗ୍ରେଟ ଲେବର, So besides there is the problem of social access to school, as even in the habitations with school in children belonging to SC, ST, minority, OBC groups. Either do not get enrolled, ସେମାନେ full କୁ ଆସୁନାହାନ୍ତି, or are not attending the school ବା school ସେମାନେ admission ବି କରୁନାହାନ୍ତି. So the problem is inadequate access, and therefore it need to be studied in terms of groups, how it is responsible in this direction. So the children from different social and economic groups attend different types of school. While the children from higher economic status, ଯାହା ଧନୀ ଘର ଛୁଆ ସେ କ'ଣ କରୁଛି? Attend good quality education in school, high standard education, equipped infrastructure, competent teachers, classroom facilities, library facilities, ICT, technology, all these things they are getting. And the children from disadvantaged group end of or poor quality school, that is single teacher, multi-grade situation, poorly trained teachers, lack of facilities. So you just imagine the need is therefore the need therefore is to intensify the efforts to make educational facilities accessible to such deprived groups in the deprived regions. This in turn means making special provisions to the disadvantaged children such as girls, SC/ST, and minority social groups of the disadvantaged children such as girls, SC/ST, minority. Just think where we are. And the second thing is uneven participation and completion. ବହୁତ ଛୁଆ ଅଛନ୍ତି, ବହୁତ ପିଲା ଅଛନ୍ତି, ସ୍କୁଲରେ ଆକ୍ସେସ୍ ହେଉଛନ୍ତି କିନ୍ତୁ ପାର୍ଟିସିପେସନ କରୁନାହାନ୍ତି ସ୍କୁଲରେ, କି ସ୍କୁଲ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ କରୁନାହାନ୍ତି, ସ୍କୁଲରେ ସେମାନେ ଡ୍ରପ୍ ଆଉଟ୍ ହେଇକି ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି. So the children access to school does not ensure their participation in schooling. So the children should stay in school to complete full cycle of elementary or secondary schooling. So by participation I mean children's their enrollment, attendance, and completion of the schooling is important. So the problem of differential access is computed by differential participation despite improvement in enrollment rates. You have seen that the dropout continue remain high and higher among girls. झील मैंने SC/ST कम्युनिटी झील मैंने बहुत विद्यालय को आसुना. तुम देखते बहुत लेबर माने काम कर इटा काम करुवे, चिप्स काम करुवे, माटी काम करुवे, देखुच तुम. So the group disparities are also reflected in regional disparities. One of the immediate tasks of the government is to bridge all the gender and social gaps in enrollment and retention with a specified time frame. किस समय मध्य हमको इस गैप को फुल अप करने पड़ेगा, नॉले we will face difficulty in future life. And we can say that this also emerges from our constitutional concerns, which Article 46 of Indian Constitution, isn't it? The state shall promote with special care and educational and economic interest of the weaker section of society, of the people, and in particularly scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, and it shall protect them from social justice and all form of exploitations. Ita amar achi Article 46 re. So how you are thinking about that? What is the status of this? Again, another third important thing is that is achievement. Equitable quality in education is also important. खाली enrollment बा participation हेले हबनी. uneven participation करदेले पिला माने स्कूल को आसी गले चलिबनी. आ कोन करिया पड़िबो ना, इक्विटी देखिया पड़िया, equitable quality education दिया होछि कि नहीं. And you should be surprised that the school education system in India has expanded manifold. You see, and this obviously poses a major challenge not only for efficient management but also mobilizing resources and maintaining द लेवल ऑफ क्वालिटी केते स्कूल टीचर अछंती केते छुआ अछंती कोन ताकर क्वालिटी ब्लैक बोर्ड केमिति अछि केते सुंदर चेयर टेबुल चेयर पड़िछि केते सुंदर बिल्डिंग अछि केते सुंदर मिड डे मील खाउछंती जस्ट इमेजिन so it is recognized that the quality improvement in education cannot be carried out in a quick basis. So one of the major challenge of education system is diverse country like India is to provide quality education to all the groups who are different stages of development. And समस्त गोटे क्वालिटी जिनस बिलोंग करूना there is inherent conflict between quality and quantity in education. Quality breeds inequality while quality breeds inequality while equality hampers quality. Equality hampers quality. ଆମେ ଦେଖ ସମସ୍ତ equality hampers equality କରୁଛି. So the term quality means excellence. The quality means excellence, and we can say that excessive emphasis on excellence in education may become discriminatory. As the children from various disadvantaged groups who have not been exposed to modern education so far find it difficult to cope up with the demands of the education system. And it's very popular what? Now the higher dropout rate among the disadvantaged children is also related with learning difficulties due to what? Now excessive curriculum load. Excessive curriculum load. So treating all the groups at par would therefore not be a suitable strategy in this case. Vandana, please mute yourself. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So it is very much important for all that to know about where we are and what kind of education is going or giving to our students, our children's, our relatives, our family members. What kind of excessive curriculum load is there? So on the other hand, we can say that if educational standard is set the minimum for all children, keeping in mind the disadvantaged children, it would go against the children belong to well-educated family. हबो नहीं जो माने हाईली स्टैंडर्ड एजुकेटेड वेल एजुकेटेड फैमिली तो जे हम ताको सेमिति सेम साइकिल रखा फॉर एजुकेशन सेम करिकुलम फॉर ऑल इट मे बी इफेक्ट ओके पारे. So the cycle of deprivation is like to continue for disadvantaged children in both the cases. So it is very much important. Therefore, the quality of education in the government school has been deteriorating over day to day. I am not saying. It is our experience. And the social groups are the different stages of educational development. This is reflected in their differential responses in the school system in terms of their access, their participation, and achievement. The delay in achieving the universal elementary education is related with the differential educational development of the groups. So, as a teacher's point of view, should think broadly because social diversity education will influence these things, and it is the matter of concern. Again, there is a challenges of diversity for education. Larger number of challenges I have written here, some very specifically for. But you know that there is challenges. These are the recent challenges of diversity education. ଆମେ ଯଦି କୁହନ୍ତି सोशल डाइवर्सिटी चैलेंज को केमिति बुझिबा ना सोशल डाइवर्सिटी चैलेंज हम सहज बुझी पारिबानी जदि आम तार डिस्पारिटीज को आम न देखते न बुझती unless one is able to explain the underlying disparities what are prevailing within our country and among the diverse groups. So the social groups at different levels of educational and economic development. So we can say that we will now look at some of the major challenges currently being faced by the education system. First one ମୁଁ ତୁମକୁ କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଯେ ମନେକର achieving at the unfinished task. ଟାସ୍କ ଦିଆହେଇଛି achieve କରୁନାହାନ୍ତି ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ କହିଛି ଆର୍ଟିକଲ 45 କ'ଣ
सर 0 to 6 जाएंगे ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ free and compulsory education ଦେବା ପାଇଁ ଯୋଉଟା ହେଲା ପ୍ରି ସ୍କୁଲ
very good well excellent. So you know that the article 45 of the constitution ଏତେବେଳେ ଆମର ଥିଲା କୋଉଠି ନା ଡିପିଏସପି ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟିଭ ପ୍ରିନ୍ସିପଲ ଷ୍ଟେଟ ପଲିସିରେ ଥିଲା ସେତେବେଳେ ଆମର ଏଜୁକେସନଟା ଫଣ୍ଡାମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ରାଇଟ୍ ହିଁ ନଥିଲା ଆର୍ଟିକଲ 21 ଏ କୁ ଆସିଲା ପରେ ଏଜୁକେସନଟା ଫଣ୍ଡାମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ରାଇଟ୍ ହେଲା କିନ୍ତୁ ଆର୍ଟିକଲ 45 ଟା ହଉଛି ଡିରେକ୍ଟିଭ ପ୍ରିନ୍ସିପଲ ଷ୍ଟେଟ ପଲିସି ଯଦି କେହି ସ୍କୁଲରେ ଆଡମିସନ ନ ମିଳିଲା କାହାକୁ ବା ସ୍କୁଲରେ ପାଠ ନ ପଡିଲା ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ ତା ନେକ୍ସଟ କେସ୍ କରିପାରିବାନି ତାକୁ କୋର୍ଟ ଉଠାଣି ନେଇ ପାରିବାନି. So the article 45 in that time the constitution in India said deadline the achieving the goal of what na universalization of elementary education 1951 ରେ concept ଆସିଲା କ'ଣ ଥିଲା article 45 ନା the state shall endeavor to provide within a period of 10 years from the commencement of this constitution for a free and compulsory education for all children until they complete the age of 14 years. 14 ବର୍ଷ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସେମାନେ ଶିକ୍ଷା ପାଇବେ ବାଧ୍ୟତାମୂଳକ ଏବଂ ମୁକ୍ତ ଶିକ୍ଷା. What happened? In response to constitutional amendment commitment, several programs have been framed, launched by the government of India for educational development. But the constitutional goal of achieving universalization of elementary education remain exclusive after 50 or 60 years of planned educational policy. And one of the main reason of delayed deployment is universalization elementary education that and disadvantaged groups such as SC/ST people, minority ଲୋକମାନେ ଏପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଠିକ ସେ ଶିକ୍ଷା ପାଇପାରୁ ନାହାନ୍ତି. And one can visualize this in differential educational development of social groups in India. So that is educational development is still paused in supply form. And in recent years, various centrally sponsored educational schemes, programs, policies government is launching, doing nua program, yes, programs which are rich. What kind of facility they are getting? Those who are deprived, those who are disadvantaged, those who are not getting service. What will happen? तो सर्व शिक्षा अभियान ହେଇଥିଲା ଏ ସେଣ୍ଟ୍ରାଲି ସ୍ପନ୍ସର୍ଡ କିମିତି ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଲଞ୍ଚ କରିଥିଲା 2002 ରେ the state should to achieve the universal elementary education. What is now still unsuccessful? Again, this is another problem. ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ କହିଲି challenges. Second challenge ହେଉଛି କ'ଣ ନା cultural nationalism and nation building. You know, India is highly diversified in terms of ethnic composition, religion, language, their tradition, culture, living style, everything there are differences. So that after knowing all these things, the diversity has both assimilative and phosphorus tendencies. So the question comes to our mind that is social diversity like to contribute to harmonious evolution of society, or it is a potential threat to social stability? ଏହା ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ ସୁଯୋଗ ଆମ ପାଇଁ ନା ଗୋଟେ ବିପଦର ସଂକେତ? So recently the country ଆମ ଦେଶ କ'ଣ କରିଛି has been experiencing social tension and conflict. ବହୁତ ଆସିଛି conflict theory, transformational theory, functionalism, so many things will see. So posing threat to unity. One of the major challenge for the state is to maintain the integral balance among the diverse groups. You know, education is an instrument of social stability and can change the and has a very important has a vital role to play. Without education, we cannot move. If you talk about the UNESCO Charter, it is also talking about sincere respect to the education. Education therefore can have a vital role in creating conditions of peaceful coexistence of the peoples in the society. One needs, every people need to take into consideration the questions such as how should teachers assist their students to realize that their full potential in a highly diversified society like India, or we can think that or enable them to resolve conflicts arising the group differences. What kind of guidance we should give to the teachers? What guidance can be given to the parents? What kind of guidance given to the learners? So in education, what will happen to cope with a very balanced society? So this is the matter of concern to know. And if we talk about the teachers, beside teachers training and classroom transaction, curriculum and school textbook need to be the sensitive part for the implication of prevailing diversity in India, in society. ଆମେ ବହିରେ ଦେଖି ଜାଣିପାରୁଛନ୍ତି ଡାଇଭରସିଟି ଅଛି କି ନାହିଁ। ବହିରେ କିଏ ଟୋପି ପିନ୍ଧିକି ବସିଛି, କିଏ ପଇତା ପିନ୍ଧିକି ବସିଛି, କିଏ ଛତା ଧରିକି ବସିଛି, କିଏ ତପସ୍ୟା କରୁଛି, କିଏ ମୁଦ ଆକାରରେ ବସିଛି। So by factoring diversity into our curriculum and textbook, we mean knowing that about our others and transcending rigid cultural barriers. So the recent controversies regarding history, curriculum and textbook have brought to the agenda cohesion, peace and harmony to the forefront. ସେଥିପାଇଁ national education policy 2020 କହୁଛି multicultural approach should be adopted while imparting education in a socially, culturally diversified society, and this entails upon incorporation of experiences of diverse groups and the promotion of intercultural diversity. Right? So just imagine how important for us to talk about the nationalism, cultural nationalism and nation building is important for us. The third thing we can talk about the globalization and education. We are staying in a modern society. Formal education is the medium through which globalization is going on. It is spread upon throughout the country, throughout the world. So the process is intensified with remarkable progress in the field of information technology. Globalization, Jagatikkarana, has a strong linkage with education because the task of transferring ever increasing knowledge and skill is entrusted with the educational system. And India is not isolated from this impact. The history of India, the history of educational development of our country shows that education is both the cause and the consequence of globalization. Very important. So in India, the modern formal education was started by British to serve its global interest. ସେମାନେ ଆସିକି ବାହାର ଲୋକ ସର୍ଭିସ କରିପାରିବେ, କାମ କରିପାରିବେ। ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଲୋକ ସିନା କିଛି ଇଂଲିଶ ଜାଣିଲେ ସେମାନେ ଫରେନ୍ ଭାଷା ବୁଝିବେ, ଆକୁ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଲୋକଙ୍କର ତଥ୍ୟ କୋଉଠି କ'ଣ ଅଛି ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ତାକୁ କହିବେ, ଆଉ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଫରେନର ଆସି ନେଇଯିବେ। ତ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଟାର୍ଗେଟ ଥିଲା। So even today, a great extent, the ethos of thrust of education remains in the same. Both the school education, higher education, university education promote cause of globalization, and they prepare the students for outside world by delinking from their cultural roots. Hey, तुम परीक्षा को इंग्लिश ले उड़िया ले कुछ देखो इंग्लिश रे सब लेखो समझते इंग्लिश बोलो करो उड़िया को छाड़ दियो छाड़ो उड़िया रे कोन मिले तुम, isn't it? So the process of civilization in all sectors highlight in the globalization. And we can say that education is not untouched in this respect, right? So and simply we can say that globalization promotes individualism by breaking down the cultural and social boundaries, right? And India is a land of diversities. The process of diversification and unification has given going to simultaneously. The major implication of social diversity for the country education system is brightening the diverse group. However, assessment of educational development indicates that although substantial progress has been made in the field of education only. But one of the major challenge for the education system in India has been to achieve universal elementary education till now. The main reason for the delay and decay in achievement is that the education system has not been able to bring the utmost disadvantaged group, that is SC, ST girls and Muslim girls with needs hold fully. Right? So just imagine what is happening. Then we will talk about the equity and excellence in education. Equity and excellence in education. Okay. So we'll see the equity and excellence in education. Am I visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting thing. Equity and excellence in education. Without equity, without excellence in education, we cannot foster. Society and the state employ education to achieve several national goals every day, every year. So the development, advancement, and promotion of equality among the people and excellence in cultural perspective, economic perspective, social perspective, civic perspective, in different sphere of life are two significant goals for which education is employed. So now a process of globalization of life has begun every day, everywhere entered. So Indian society is also in the thick of globalization to make it mark in this globalizing world. There is a need to maintain quality and standard with the forefront of competition. Pursuit of excellence is a value in this direction. And there is also a need to carry all cross section society in this globalizing universe. Otherwise, कौन हबो? Inequality in society may increase, leading to social tension, conflict, disintegration, quarrel. So, a peaceful march towards progress of prosperity is possible with the pursuit of excellence in education and should be directed with the pursuit of equity. So, a student of sociology of education like us should know as what it means to achieve the ends, how it is happening. So, first one is equity as a constitutional value. It is a constitutional value. Very briefly, I am telling, try to understand. Equity is a constitutional value. You know that the government of India have been adopted several number of strategies, policies for a promotion of equality in education. The Constitution of India is a blueprint for the creation of a new society that has been normal culture and democratic socialism. This implies a movement wherein individual interests are treated as supreme value. તમે देखते हो इंडिया में बहुत आर्टिकल्स अच्छे आर्टिकल्स ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन guarantee fundamental rights to India all individuals and the individual society is founded on four fundamental values like justice, equality, liberty, fraternity. ता गुटे कहली several policies has been framed by the government of India, strategy has been adopted by India and also for state Indian states for promotion of equality, distribution of land and landless persons, provision of special incentives in agriculture, irrigation, power supply, housing, and so many areas. So what will happen actually? In fact, we say that education is one of the chief instrument for heralding a new society as visualized by the Constitution. It is a non-violent, peaceful, and enlightened strategy for a creation of society based on and leading towards the four fundamental constitutional values. So you should imagine how these things are important in every individual's life. Second is you can talk about, and you know that education is the chief tool for realization of all these goals. Nature of inequality in education, inequality in India, inequality in India. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର equality presumes an understanding of inequality, Indian society has been characterized by inequality for centuries. बहुत वर्ष ହେଲା ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି. This inequality is both nature created the society contrived. Regional disparities in developmental levels are largely due to asymmetrical distribution of natural resources, as well as we can say this is the apathy of organized society towards the same. कौन एतरे संदेह रहिला हमरो ना the belief that human beings and groups are hierarchically endowed with regard to their talents, abilities, skills, powers, that those who have superior abilities should enjoy status, while the power over the recent has led inequalities. Discrimination आसले कि नहीं? So आमे से inequality की लक्ष्य करिया उचित. Discrimination in regard to sanction deprivation of privileges, special facilities पाउजंती कि नहीं समझते? ना जहार बिल्डिंग अछि ताको इंदिरा आवास मिलुची, जो गाँव पिचु रास्ता सेठी घर जाउची. कौन होची actually? What is happening actually? So it has in some lead to injustice in societal organization and treatment of individual groups. And we are sorry that we are living in a society and we have to think. This is the society that we inherited at the time of independence and adoption of the constitution. So there is a conscious, deliberate, planned effort on the part of Indian state to regulate, to rechannelize, and to reform this integral in egalitarian social structure and lead towards democratic socialism. Where we are living actually, it's the matter of debate to know. Third is inequality in school education. You see that in India, what is the school standard at primary level, at secondary level, at higher secondary level. Even inequality has value in higher education. Higher education is not a fundamental, is not a fundamental or human right. Elementary education or fundamental hala na 6 ରୁ 14 ବର୍ଷ ଯାଏ. କିନ୍ତୁ higher education fundamental right ki? No. Higher education is not a fundamental right or a human right in sense which is elementary education is considered Article 21 of Indian Constitution, 21A. But 26 of URDC, Charter of Article 26 of Charter of Universal Declaration Human Rights. कौन प्रपोज करथिला? Technical and professional education shall be made generally available and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. isn't it? So the significant distinction we saw that needs to be noted here in elementary education is an inequality value assumes the status of fundamental or essential or human right, while the equality value is regarded to higher education is a desirable right as per the universal as per the universal declaration human rights, isn't it? Okay, again we should think the role of education is what is the role of education in promoting an egalitarian society. Education is both as an indicator as well as an instrument for the promotion of equality in a society. कौन होची now literacy level in society is a crude indicator which is universally employed as an indicator of the spirit of education in society as well as for the comparison of national and subnational systems of education. आमे भी जेंडर कहते women empowerment, gender empowerment measure. So differential between the sexes, all these indicators are used to examine the gender empowerment. Literacy and school education, even the elementary ability to register one's signature. Some students are unable to write their signature. Elevate the human rights, spirit, and enter the ability of feeling exercises the value of quality, equality, and justice to the learner. What they are doing in their daily life. So we can say that education liberates a person from bondage. Education liberates a person from bondage. Ignorance, superstitions, poverty, disease, scholar, slavish mentality, all are bondage. So freedom from bondage leads to an experience of equality. Inequality is characterized by fear, subjugation, submission, unquestioning, loyalty, blind respect for authority, hierarchy, and authority, blind respect for authority, passive acceptance of discrimination, कि जानना accept कर सकता है without knowing, a loss of freedom. So all these things is a matter of concern to know because we are the people who are going to create a resurgent India, a dynamic India, isn't it? Next, the strategies for it is strategies for equity in education, school perspective, right? Recognize that all students have different needs. Recognize that all students have different needs. Without identifying needs, how you can foster? ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍କୁଲ ପର୍ସପେକ୍ଟିଭ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ଯେ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ପିଲାଙ୍କର ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ନିଡ୍ସ ଅଛି ବିକଜ ଦେ ବିଲଙ୍ଗ ଟୁ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ବ୍ୟାକଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ, economic background, social background, cultural background. Their understanding is different. Their gene is different. Their level of mentality is different. Their perception is different. Their attitude is different. So as a teacher, you have to recognize that all students have different needs. So according to that, equity should be provided. Helping hand should be provided. Pay attention to your mindset and be aware of any biases you may have. As a teacher, you should give attention to your mindset, whatever mindset you have fixed, and be aware of any biases. Are you doing any kind of bias? You may have, but you should be aware about that. Create a community of trust where students from all backgrounds and identities feel safe to speak up. As a teacher, you should create a so good, conducive environment in the school that the students will not feel any kind of hesitation to express his or her view, to communicate you, to say her problems with respect to education or personal development. As a teacher, promote diversity in your curriculum, not just literature or social studies classes, but in science and math too. Are you teaching mathematics? Are you teaching science? If you are teaching science or mathematics, you may take examples from their home, from their market, from their playground, from their family to use, to understand, to realize the concept, the essence of education. So you have to generate this kind of attitude. You have to promote the diversity in curriculum by explaining, by orienting the learners. Use visuals to promote diversity in the classroom. If you always talk in lecture method or any kind of direct method, the students may not be interested to your class. They may show in a lack of interest, lack of participation in your class. So your visuals promote diversity in the classroom. Some are seeing different angles, some are explaining different angles. Different views will come from students. And utilize students' voice in curriculum planning a different perspective. When generally we develop a curriculum and standard a model, we must involve the learners, those who are in the grassroots level, those who are the real practitioner of the content of the curriculum, because they will express very freely what amount of knowledge is essential for them, what kind of assistance they need from you. So you must have diverse materials in the classroom and diverse books on your shelves. If we follow any a single book always throughout the class or throughout the syllabus, then it may create a disturbance among the learner. So always teacher is telling the same book, and the knowledge may not be in a very comprehensive one. So reach multilingual learners. You may communicate students in very different, diversified languages. That they will students will be more interested what actually she is saying. ଆମେ ତ ସାଧାରଣ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ କହିବା କିଛି ଲୋକ କ୍ଲାସରେ ନ ଶୁଣି ପାରୁନ, କାରଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ହିନ୍ଦୀରେ କହିବ କିଛି କ୍ଲାସରେ ଆନ୍ସର ଦଉଛି, ଓଡ଼ିଆ ପିଲାଙ୍କ କ୍ଲାସରେ ହିନ୍ଦୀରେ ଆନ୍ସର ଦେଲା, ତାକୁ ଟିକେ ଆମେ ମୁହଁ ବୋଲିକି ଚାହାନ୍ତି କ'ଣ କହୁଛି ଦେଖି ଆସି। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହିନ୍ଦୀ କ୍ଲାସରେ ଗୋଟେ ସଂସ୍କୃତରେ କହୁଛି, ଆରେ କି ସୁନ୍ଦର ସଂସ୍କୃତ ସେ କହୁଛି। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ କ୍ଲାସରେ ସେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଇଂଲିଶ କହୁଛି, କି ସୁନ୍ଦର ଇଂଲିଶ କହୁଛି। ଇଟ୍ ଦ attraction. Students are getting interest, taking interest to participate, isn't it? And also get help you if you need it. If you are not ready that you can manage it, then you can take assistance from others, from your seniors, from your teachers, from your friends, from your juniors also. They may assist, they may guide you in that direction if you are unable to manage such condition. So these are the qualities, strategies for equity in education. Next, we will talk about quality of educational opportunities. Another important, very important thing, that is quality of educational opportunities. Key quality? Na equality. Equality. So the concept of equality in domains of educational opportunities among different social group is one of the vital aspect for the development of socio-economic and political vantage points in every society. Isn't it? Educational opportunity means equal education talks about there should be single same curriculum in the same school without any kind of discrimination, barriers, any kind of issues. So education is one of the means for eradicating social problems in order to bring the people into the horizontal field of human development. And education is the master key to solve all the problems of human life. Problems in order to bring the people into horizontal field of human progress, human development. So we can say that equal education for all children means that there should be the same curriculum in the same school. Are you getting me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you getting me?
Yes,
Voice
sir.
audible ଅଛି?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the equal education for all children means that there should be the same curriculum in the same school. In 1966, the USA had constituted an expert committee to study various possibilities of equal distribution of educational resources among people. You know that ତାର 2 ବର୍ଷ ପରେ 1968 ରେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ଏଜୁକେସନ ପଲିସି ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଥିଲା ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ଏଜୁକେସନ ପଲିସି ତାର ଏତେ ସିଗ୍ନିଫିକାଣ୍ଟ ଇମ୍ପାକ୍ଟ ପଡ଼ିଥିଲା they stated that for equal distribution of education to the people there should be some inputs such as people's expenditure physical facilities and source of library there also should be outputs for such as racial composition of students, teachers, moral, and consideration of students' academic results as even individual, as seen individually. It's very much important. We have to validate it. Academic result of learners, students' success is important. Teachers' moral condition is important. How much teacher is valued. The problem within the Indian society is great inequality in almost every sphere of society. Every sphere of the society we have seen. I am also seeing in this university, college, or schools nowadays. So one may be able to say that caste is the best and the rest is super, which determine power, position, so the possession of resources, authority, and of course education. Right? So in fact, we can say it is a fact that inequality of educational opportunities can only be reduced by first reducing inequality in society as a whole. If we talk about bringing this thing, so you have to reduce the inequality in societal perspectives. So what is the need of equality in education? For which purpose we should think about that? For the establishment of an egalitarian society based on social equity, equality and justice, to contribute to the search for talents among all the people of a nation, essential to ensure the rapid advancement of a nation, essential rapid advancement for equality in education. For the successful functioning of a democracy, educated and enlightened people alone can ensure a meaningful democracy, and also it helps to develop a closer link between the manpower needs of society and availability of skilled personnel. So you just think how important is this, and we should the matter of concern to think that there is a need of equality in education for fostering the development for skilled personnel, for enlightening people, for a meaningful society, for a developed society, for equality, for justice, all these spheres. What are the importance of equality in education? Human rights, it is that education is a fundamental right, Article 21A. Essential for democracy, we have to know the society, constitutional facilities, the governing bodies, the facilities available, and the rights, egalitarian societies, to create a society having balanced people without any kind of discriminations, free from violences, economic development to bring progressive change in the field of finance. Radical improvement can be possible if there is equality in education, that all spheres of education and development will happen. Otherwise, some people will be poor and some people will be rich. So there will be gap. Nation's advancement, the sort of pragati only if we have quality in education. Quality in education. Search for talent. Where will search for talent? If we don't have equality in education, equality education will be a parameter for progressive improvement in the students' talent. Closer link will bring together the center to the state, country to the country, people to people, if there is a close relation between. Modernization is possible if we have a very standard, good standard and quality in education. Achieving equality and equity in education is also a very important factor when you think about the quality in education, because without these two things, equality and quality, the nation cannot progress at all. And it is important, very much important. So now you should know that what are the problems concerning equality of educational opportunities. What creates disturbance in the field of educational opportunities? कौन कौन problems अछि? Difference in economic status very significant. Financial assistance, financial provisions ठीक नहीं. Gender disparity is also there. Regional imbalance, always there is arguments, conflicts. Physiological differences, also differences. People are living different geographical area. Their physical health also, their lifestyle conditions are also different. There is also a kind of barrier. We are unable to reach all places because there is no way to communicate the people. Some people are staying in deep jungle. Tribes are staying. We don't know. Also nowadays, some tribes are there. Difference in home conditions also. Some are staying in Mati Kudia, some are staying in Pakka Ghara, some are staying in Raj Mahals, some are staying in the roadside. Difference in home conditions. So it's equality. Non-availability of inadequate opportunities. Opportunities to have not basic opportunity facilities are not provided to them. Difference in mental and physical abilities. Nutrition paileni, conditions paileni, environment paileni. So thinking good as physical ability is strong. So mental ability is also different and physical ability is also different. So disparity between forward and backward classes. It is very much important, very, very important, very much important. You should know. Again, another thing I want to note that thoughts of Dr. Ambedkar. You should know that all these things very much important for us. Education is what makes a person fearless. Teachers, teaches him the lesson of unity, makes him aware of his rights, and inspires him to struggle for his rights. Very good thoughts. ଆମେ ଇକ୍ୱାଲିଟି କଥା ଚିନ୍ତା କରୁଛନ୍ତି education opportunity je education is not there you know that education the master key to solve all the problems but where education is that what makes a person fearless teaches him the lesson of unity makes him aware of his rights and inspires him to struggle for his rights isn't it am I wrong education is something which ought to be brought within the reach of everyone without any kind of discrimination, caste, creed, sex, gender, place of birth, beauty, everything, nothing can be taken into account. The society must be based on religion and not on tradition of caste system. The society is nowadays a culture, some say Hindu, Muslim, you are general caste, or you are scheduled caste, you are a Khandayat, or you are a Koran, or you are a Brahmins. So how they are thinking? What is the reason behind this? तुम्हारे जो रक्त ना कर से रक्त नहीं, blood O positive, B positive, A, B, O नहीं, or different bloods is there, and not on traditions of caste system. Society must be based on reason. In fact, reality, not on tradition of caste system, isn't it? So the backward classes have come to realize that after all, education is the greatest material benefit for which they can fight. If once a family, one member is educated, then there will development, progress. So education is an instrument of social change. Be hungry when the time comes, but educate your children. You know that education is an instrument of social change. If we are not educated, we cannot think properly. We cannot eat properly. We cannot work properly. We cannot sleep properly. We cannot do anything properly. Be hungry when the time comes, but educate your children minimum. Then you know that education of ST, SC, OBC is in a very difficult situation in our country. The scheduled caste, SC, scheduled tribes, STs are two most deprived section of the society in our country. We are thinking SC, STs and why we are behaving तम देहर घटी गले से माने ब्लड देबेनी मते खराब तो हॉस्पिटल नहीं जिबेनी सांग तो से तो हॉस्पिटल नहीं जीव ना ब्लड है देह खराब होले ब्लड दबन तो मना करबो ना मते छुआनी मु ग्रामीण तो मु पड़ी थाए हम घर लोक हलन मेडिकल नहीं जीवे it is possible. So the literacy rate of SC ST are still much lower than the literacy rate of other communities. The enrollment of SC and ST children is lower than the of children belonging to other communities, both at primary and upper primary levels. So, say level girls, we are not giving equal respect, equal opportunities for them. They are being deprived from society, and they are facing so many difficulties in their day-to-day life. You know that how much difficulties they are facing in every day, and we are just asking and talking about them. So, dropout rates of SC ST continues to be much higher than of children of other communities at all levels of schooling. Dropout rates of SC ST continue to be much higher than the children of other communities at all levels of schooling. And I am working in a university and I have seen what the position is there. How many schools are welcoming how many students are enrolling, how many are attending, how many are dropout. And you know that when there is post in vacancy for teacher education, general post fill up ହେଇଯାଉଛି, SCBCP fill up ହେଇଯାଉଛି, but SC/ST seat is not filled because of what? They are deprived. They are not education is properly provided to them. If they are properly educated, we will see that their seat will fill fast. So when there is lacuna, there is lack of opportunity. How the seats will fill, isn't it? Okay. So we should think about that. What kind of measures taken for equalization of educational opportunity? Government किसी नहीं चीकी, किसी fundamental rights duties अच्छी की, किसी policies में frame ही चीकी, or not? So to provide equal opportunity to all children, primary education has been made free, compulsory and universal as per the constitutional provisions. Article 21 of the Constitution states that the states shall endeavor to provide free and compulsory education to all the children, irrespective of any kind of discriminations, caste, creed, sex, gender, etc. So, government is making provisions, but what is the fault is there? Steps have been taken for the educational backwardness among the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes with the provision of reservation of seats, different types of scholarships also given to them, SC/ST and MBC scholarship. SC/ST, OBC and MBC scholarship given by government of India, government of Odisha also, School as Mass Education Department. The National Policy on Education 1986 also emphasized on the removal of disparities and attainment of equalization of educational opportunity for SC/ST and OBC sections, especially for girls. Government has written some paraphernalia, some guidelines, some rules framed, policy framed, but the implementation is not properly done. Okay. If there are a policy, what the policy says, we should think about. Am I audible properly?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, National Policy on Education 1986. Government have framed certain policies, among them in 1986, the India's best, first, comprehensive policy, that is 1986. Second national policy, but the complete policy. प्रथम है 1968, second 1986, third है 2020. And the second is the 1986, it was the complete policy, 1968 ta incomplete thila. The initiative of the indigent families to send their children to school regularly till they reach the age of 14 years, 1986 ta kohutila. Reservation for SC and ST children education institutions at all levels of education. Government provision ଦେଇଛି. Universalization of elementary education, OBB, operation of blackboard, non-formal education, district primary education programs, all the steps taken by the government of India accord a priority to the education of SC and ST children. Look Jambis and Shiksha Karmi projects have a specific focus on SC and ST inhabited areas all over the country. And we also can think of the granting aid to voluntary organizations working to promote education among the SC and ST children. This is also important. Facilities given to the peoples of all over India. They are staying and specifically belong to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Reservation and recruitment of education, recruitment of teachers from SC and ST is also a matter of concern. There is some facilities and opportunities for them to get job for their development, advancement. Provisions of primary school or non-formal education center is every scheduled tribe habitation. There is also special, that EMRS, Ekalabya Model Residential School. Only the tribal students will learn. Even some rural area there is tribal special schools. The tribal belt people will being better educated. Facilities government is making 1986 framed it. And we should very national education policy 2020 also highlighted some important for the development of education. So to overcome language barrier being faced by students, MOOCs, massive open online courses are being translated in Indian languages. Usually, আজি स्वयं प्लाटफर्म खोलिबो स्वयं प्लाटफर्म MOOC कोर्सेस दिया जाउची विभिन्न लैंग्वेज ओडिया हिंदी तेलुगु मराठी इंग्लिश you will find larger number of languages you will gain extra courses distance education mode, right? Financial assistance to different deprived sections of society also given, scholarship stipend also given. Government also saying that it should be focused more. Maulana Azad National Fellowship for Minority Students, PG scholarship for SC/ST candidates, postdoctoral scholarship for SC/ST candidates. Also, UGC University Grants Commission is giving fellowship for the research purposes to the students. National Fellowship for other backward classes OBC. So many facilities, single girl child scholarship is there. So many things are there for the development of CST and girls peoples, right? And certain constitutional provisions also we should it is very important we should note. First, Article 46 kon kochi na the state shall promote with the special constitutional provisions. Article 46, the state shall promote with special care the educational and economic interest of the weaker section of the people, and in particular of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and shall protect them from social injustice and all forms of exploitation. Article 46 भी कहिछि. Article 30 fundamental right कौन कहिछि? All minorities, whether based on religion or language, shall have the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice without any kind of barrier. Article 14 कौन कौन equal protection. The state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection. It's constitutional provisions for the peoples. Article 29 2, no citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institution maintained by the state or receiving aid out of state funds on grounds only of religion, race, caste, language, or any of them. Article 21A, जोटा को मैं कहती fundamental right. The state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 6 to 14 years in such manner as the state may by law determine. Article 17 कौन कहूची? Untouchability, अस्पृश्यता is abolished and its practice in any form is forbidden. The enforcement of any stability and any disability arising of untouchability shall be an offense punishable in accordance with law. You may drag to the court if you are saying this kind of things. Article 51A. So the Article 15A1. The state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. These are all talks about the development of and bringing equality in education, provisions for bringing equality. And what kind of initiatives by the government of India has been taken? Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya, KGVB, प्रधानमंत्री पोषण शक्ति निर्माण पीएम पोषण नवोदय विद्यालय समिति गाँ अच्छी कौट जान भल भाव को जगह नवोदय विद्यालय रूराल टैलेंट पे पढ़ती आश्रम पद्धति स्कूल रिजर्वेशन इन एडमिशन इन एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस RT Act free and compulsory education for 6 to 14 years age group RT Act by CFC Act Sarva Shiksha Abhijan. That means government has also taken so many initiatives for the upliftment of education, development of the country, and bringing equality in education. And thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody have any
Thank you.
query?
Thank
Any
you, sir.
query?
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
ସାର୍ ନବୋଦୟ
Thank you,
ବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟରେ
sir.
ଯୋଉ ଟ୍ୟାଲେଣ୍ଟ ସାର୍ ନବୋଦୟ ବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟରେ ଯୋଉ ଟ୍ୟାଲେଣ୍ଟ ଛୁଆମାନେ ପଢନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ସରକାରୀ ସ୍କୁଲରୁ ହିଁ ତିଆରି ହେଇକି ଯାଆନ୍ତି।
Yes, yes. You are perfectly right. Anybody, anything want to say?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ ଆର ମେନ୍ ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ହେଲା ଯୋଉମାନେ ରୁରାଲ ଏରିଆ ଯୋଉମାନେ ମାନେ ଯୋଉ କ୍ରିଏଟିଭ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ମାନେ ବା ତାଙ୍କର ଯାହାର ବେଶୀ ଟିକେ ଭଲ ନଲେଜ ଅଛି ତାଙ୍କୁ କେମିତି ଇମ୍ପ୍ରୁଭ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଇନିସିଏଟିଭ ନେଇଥିଲା ଏଇଟା ନବୋଦୟ ବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟ 1986 ପଲିସିଟାକୁ ରେକମେଣ୍ଡ କରିଥିଲା।
Exactly, you are perfect. Very good. So I hope you have rightly listened to my class. So you are saying those kind of things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Jagannath, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
If nobody have no questions, so I may leave. Okay. Thank you very much.